Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki. Please take a moment to see that your mobile phones are in the silent mode. And then let's forget the entire world and focus our thoughts on the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 36. Asanyatatmana yogo
Asanyatatmana yogo
dushprapa iti me matihi
dushprapa iti me mati
vashyatmana tu yatata
vashyatmana tu yatata
shakyo vaptumupayatah.
shakyo vaptum upayatah.
Translation: Yoga is difficult to attain for one whose mind is unbridled. However, those who have learned to control the mind and who strive earnestly by proper means can attain perfection in yoga. This is my opinion. Sri Krishna explained the process of yoga. Arjun questioned, "This seems so difficult, Sri Krishna. This mind seems uncontrollable, even more so than the wind." And Sri Krishna said, "Arjun, it is in fact difficult to control. However, by this twofold formula, two sutras, you will conquer it. The first is vairagya, detachment. And the second is abhyas, practice." This practice is not always pleasant. Things that are of high value are sometimes boring to indulge in. When students realize they need good grades, is studying a whole lot of entertainment? It's constant fighting against the mind. The mind says, "This is not interesting. I know so many other activities that are more entertaining than studies." But the intellect says, "This is necessary." So they force their mind whether they like it or not. So it is with everything in life. All that is worthwhile always lies upstream. And attaining it requires a struggle. Things that are worthless are downstream. To watch Netflix, it doesn't require much effort, right? Just your monthly subscription. But it doesn't provide any value. While practicing meditation will give you permanent value. So, Sri Krishna is saying that, Arjun, if you wish to practice yoga, you will need determination. The determination to do it, even against the complaining mind. Those who are willing to go beyond this complaining mind, success lies on the other side. And those who admit defeat, my mind says relax, then they don't reach the goal. That is why we must grow this willpower muscle, one little bit by one little bit, a little strand on a regular basis. Just like you grow the muscles of your body through exercise, You grow the willpower muscle also through exercise. The saints were well aware of the necessity for self-discipline. Swami Ramtirth's example, he was the second Swamiji to come here. His mind was attached to apples. And he would deny his mind. He would place an apple there in his room, and the mind would say, "Can I eat it?" He would say, "How dare you eat it?" This disciplining of the mind. After 6 days, the apple would start rotting. He would take it and throw it away. That was the way he practiced mind control. There was a monk in ancient Athens called Diogenes, the monk of the barrel. He used to live in a barrel. So he would go before a statue and start begging, "Please give me alms." Somebody said, "Why do you do that?" He said, "When I go and ask in front of people and they say no, it will hurt me. So I am practicing in front of this murti." This is how one gains control over the mind. Not by indulging it, but by denying it. So every time you know something is right, but you don't do it because it is inconvenient, you weaken your willpower muscle. Every time you know something is valueless but entertaining, and you do it because it is fun, you weaken your willpower muscle. And every time you deny that low value or enjoyable activity, you strengthen your self-discipline one strand. Every time you force your mind and senses towards that difficult task, which is in line with your higher purpose, you grow in self-discipline. If you wish to achieve success in yoga, you will need self-discipline. So Sri Krishna says, Arjun, practice is not pleasant. But without practice, you will not progress. See, people play golf for 50 years at a stretch. And at the end of it, they are no better than they were 50 years ago. Now, if practice makes perfect, they have been practicing for 50 years. Why have they not become perfect? Because they are not exerting themselves. If you wish to grow, you have to do deliberate practice, which means be aware of your shortcomings. Each time you descend on the golf course with a firm resolve, exert your mind, intellect and senses to iron out those defects and to grow your skill set. That kind of deliberate practice bears results. Likewise, in your spiritual sadhana, you can just do it for fun. That's good. You're taking your mind to God. But if you decide, every time I sit for sadhana, I must grow one little delta ahead from where I was. With that kind of resolve, you will keep making progress. That is how people conquered this mind. Innumerable yogis in the past. And that is how we too can conquer this mind. The principle is irrevocable, eternal. With determination and practice, you will achieve success in yoga. It's Sri Krishna's message in this verse. 37. Arjuna vacha
Uvacha
ayati shraddhayopeto
Ayati Shraddhayopeto
yoga chalitamanasaha
Yoga Chalitamaanasaha
aprapya yoga sansiddham
Aprapya Yoga
sansiddhim kam gatim Krishna gacchati.
Kam Gatim Krishna Gacchati.
Translation: Arjun said, what is the fate of the unsuccessful yogi who begins the path with faith, but who does not endeavor sufficiently due to an unsteady mind and is unable to reach the goal of yoga in this life? So, Arjun has asked an important question. Somebody developed faith enough to start the journey. The faith came from past sanskars or the association of like-minded people or the causeless grace of the Guru. Whatever be the case, that faith developed and one started the journey. But then, for some reason or the other, the person grew lax, became a yati, and was unable to complete the journey. Then what will happen? One has started off and is unable to complete. So one has left the worldly delights and is not getting spiritual success. Will that person be stranded in between? न खुदा ही मिले न बिसाले सलम न इधर के रहे न उधर के रहे. Arjun's question is a valid one. Let's see what Sri Krishna, today we have to cover a lot of ground. 38. Kaschinno bhaya vibhrashtaha Chinna bhramiva nashyati apratishto mahabaho vimudho brahmana pathi. Translation: does not such a person who deviates from yoga get deprived of both material and spiritual success, O mighty armed Krishna, and perish like a broken cloud with no position in either sphere? So, everybody wants success. The desire for success is natural in the soul. The desire for growth, it is coming from God Himself. God is Brahma. That's the Sanskrit word for Him, Brahma. And the word Brahma, etymologically it stands for Vrihatvat Brahma. That which is infinitely big. But there is another etymology for the word Brahma as well, which people are not much aware of. Vringhanatvat Brahma. Brahma is He who makes others big. So God is infinite in His energies and His powers, but he wishes to make his little parts also infinitely big like himself. So that propensity to seek growth, to seek success, is natural and intrinsic to the soul. Now, as long as our consciousness is material, we are seeking growth there. How to get a bigger house, how to have a higher job, more money, etc., more fame, more prestige. And then some people developed faith on the spiritual path and they said, okay, these material attainments are not valuable to me any longer. I will pursue spiritual attainment. And Arjun is saying that those who have rejected material success and are now striving for spiritual victories, and they don't reach the goal post, what will happen to them? Will their position, look at the analogy he gives, be like that of a little cloud? See, the cloud is formed by the water vapor that rises. And when the cloud mass becomes too heavy, then it breaks into rain. And if a little portion breaks off from the major cloud mass, there is now no scope for it to become heavy. So it just wanders around in the clouds, in the skies. Likewise, Sri Krishna, if somebody has left the worldly goals and has not achieved the spiritual goal, what will happen to such an unsuccessful yogi? A doubt has arisen in Arjun's mind. Shakespeare said, our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we might win by fearing to attempt. See, the whole world runs on hope. The educational system is based on the hope that when you graduate, you will get a good profession. The cosmetic industry is selling you hope. The diet industry and the health and wellness industry is selling you hope. And if you lost hope, all of these businesses would collapse. Likewise, Sri Krishna has offered Arjun hope. Arjun, if you follow my teachings, you will get what your soul was looking for. Now Arjun is questioning. A doubt has arisen. These doubts are natural in the beginning of the journey, because the intellect as yet doesn't have the firm resolve. And that is why it is necessary to acquire knowledge. If you say, no questions, no doubts, then the doubts will remain and the firm faith will not come. So let all the doubts come out. Get proper answers for your doubts. Our Sanatana Dharma, the Vedic Dharma, is so wonderful. It's all based on question and answer. You visit any of the scriptures, it is a dialogue format. Vidur is asking and Maitreya Rishi is answering. Rahugan is asking and Jat Bharat is answering. The Shaunakadik Rishis are questioning and Sutji Maharaj is answering. Raja Janmejaya is questioning and Vaishampayan is answering. There is always dialogues. This is the dialectic process of question and answer. So Do ask questions, but just asking questions without sincerity will get you nowhere. That is why Sri Krishna, in the 4th chapter, he gave the process of inquiry. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. He says, Arjun, find a tattvadarshi, a realized sage, who is just not speaking what he has read, but this truth that he has seen. Tattvadarshi. So pranipatena, offer your respectful obeisance, be humble. Sevaya, offer your service, do the samarpan, sharanagati. And then pariprashnena, question inquisitively. That tattvadarshi will impart knowledge to you because he has seen the truth. Not in a challenging mode, Guruji, I have got 3 minutes and 20 questions, please, I need the answers because I've got a flight tomorrow. We must fulfill all 3. Pranipat, Sevaya, and then Pariprashnena. In that way, do try and resolve your doubts. We will move on. Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Partha Naiveha Namutra
Partha Naiveha Namutra
Vinashas Tasya Vidyate
Vinashastasya Vidyate
Nahi Kalyana Krit Kaschet
Nahi Kalyana Krit Kaschet
Durgatim Tat Gacchati.
Durgatim Tat Gacchati.
Translation. The Supreme Lord said, O Parth, one who engages on the spiritual path does not meet with destruction either in this world or the world to come. My dear friend, one who strives for God realization is never overcome by evil. So Arjun's question was, what will happen to the unsuccessful yogi? And Sri Krishna says, don't you worry. Tat. Tat is a word of endearment. So you say to your child, Tat. The Guru calls the disciple Tat. It's a multi-purpose word. Sometimes it's used for the father as well. With all his love. You know, Sri Krishna addresses Arjun by various names. And each time, the sentiment he wishes to express, he chooses the name accordingly. In this case, he is saying, Arjun, I love you so much. I am your God, is your eternal Father. What is there to worry? He loves us, but he doesn't openly reveal that he is protecting. He keeps protecting, silently hiding himself. One son used to accompany his parents to visit his grandmother in the summer break. They used to go by train, and he would spend 1 month summer break with his grandmother, which was so wonderful and enjoyable. One summer, the father was busy and could not take leave from his office. He said, my child, this time we will not be going to grandmother. The child said, Papa, if you are busy, I can go myself by train. I'm big enough now. I'm full 6 years old. You know, this is the boyish mentality. I'm 6 years old. If you tell a 6-year-old, you're a big boy, yes, big boy. So, he said, I'm a big boy. Father said, if you are confident, all right. He purchased a single ticket on the train. And tentatively he took the child with apprehension, brought him to the train which was on the platform. He made him sit on his seat and said, look, my child, don't panic. All is under control. But in case you panic, I am giving you this one little casket. You open it and you'll find something there that will help you tremendously. The child, in all his confidence, said, Papa, there is nothing to worry about. So Papa went out onto the platform and did Tata as the train left the platform. But when the minutes went by, the child started panicking. It was such an unfamiliar sight. Unknown people, all by himself. First time in his life. Slowly fear started seeping into his heart until panic gripped him. And then he was about to break when he suddenly remembered Papa had said that in this casket will be the solution if you are in trouble. He opened it and there was a little note. He opened the note. It was his Papa's handwriting. His father had written, my child, nothing to worry. I'm in the next bogie. All his worries disappeared. Papa is there, what is there to worry? Right? So God is always there with us. In Hindi they say, marne wale ke do haath. The guy who has come to threaten you has got 2 arms. Bachane wale ke 4 haath. And God who is there to save you has got 4 arms. So He is there with us, helping us, but He doesn't openly reveal Himself. Otherwise then we will say, okay, then I'll do nothing, God, you take care. So He doesn't want that kind of complacence. That is why He keeps Himself hidden. So, Sri Krishna here is saying, giving the reassurance that God protects. If you move in His direction, He takes care of you. Have faith. Now remember, you say, God, I'll have faith if you just get me that next job. And if you get me the green card, then I'll have faith. God says it doesn't work like that. Faith has to be a choice. So I don't give you so much that there is no choice required. You will have to choose to have faith. Somebody thought, how will I have faith? How will I have faith? And then realized the way to have faith is to read the Bhagavad Gita and then choose with your intellect to believe the knowledge that you are reading. That is how you develop the faith in God. Let's move ahead. 41, 42. Prapya punya kritan lokan
Prapya punya kritan lokan
Ushitva shashvati sama
उषित्वा शाश्वती समा
Shuchinam Srimatangehe
शुचीनां श्रीमताङ्गे
Yoga Bhrashto Bhijayate
योगभ्रष्टोऽभिजायते
Athva Yoginameva
अथवा योगिनामेव
Kule Bhavati Dhimatam
कुले भवति धीमताम्
Etadhi Durlabhataram Loke
एतद्धि दुर्लभतरं लोके
Janma Yadidrisham.
जन्म यदीदृशम्
Translation: The unsuccessful yogis upon death go to the abodes of the virtuous. After dwelling there for many ages, they are again reborn in the earth plane into a family of pious and prosperous people. Else, if they had developed dispassion due to long practice of yoga, they are born into a family endowed with the divine wisdom. Such a birth is very difficult to attain in this world. So if somebody did not achieve success in yoga, why did it happen? The person's decision was that no happiness is in the world. So because of this, the success did not come. Sri Krishna says, all right, I will send you to Svarglok, where you will have tremendous facility to enjoy material delights. And at the end of it, you will realize there is nothing in it. It's all the same. See, in comparison to a developing country, America is like Swarg. In comparison to an underdeveloped country, the developing country is like Swarg. So compared to the rest of the planet, living in Somalia, for example, may be hellish. Now people will, they're one after another levels of material opulence. You can see above this level is that level, above this level is that level. The illusion is that in the next level there must be happiness. So this illusion goes all the way to Swarg. The Taittiriya Upanishad, Brahmananda Valli, has defined the levels of happiness. So it says, who would be the happiest person on the planet Earth? And the answer it gives is, Saishanandasya mimansa bhavati yuvat sadhu yuvat dhyayakah ashishto dridishto balishto tasyayam prithvi sarva vittasya purnasyat sa eko manusha ananda. Imagine a hypothetical case of somebody who is the emperor of the world in youth. This is hypothetical because nobody is the emperor of the world, but just suppose. And that person has got everything, good health, good looks, good prestige, good intellect, all the qualities. This is also hypothetical. God doesn't give everything to any one person. When He sends you in the world, He gives you a mix. Something to be happy about and something to cry about. So one person has got all the wealth in the world, but the health is so bad they can't even eat roti. I've got gluten allergy, I can't take roti. Somebody else doesn't have any wealth. A tribal in the Amazon, but has got such astonishing health. A third person has got health and wealth. But there are marital conflicts. He thinks, oh my God, did I marry an avatar of Chandi? What is this? So everybody is in the same dilemma, something to be happy about, something to be sad about. Because if God gave one person everything, it would be an unstable situation. That person would become so proud that the head would burst. And if God deprived somebody of everything, that would also be an unlivable situation. The person would have had a heart attack. So in this mix, when we see somebody below us, we become happy. This guy is high school pass and I am a graduate. And we see somebody ahead of us, we become sad. This guy has a PhD and I am only a graduate. So we keep going up and down in these comparisons. But the Vedas are saying, suppose somebody had everything and was the emperor of the world in youth, that person would be considered the happiest. 100 times that facility is available to the Manav Gandharvas. Te shatam manusha anandaha sa eko manushya gandharvanam anandha. Te shatam manushya gandharvanam anandha sa eko deva gandharvanam anandha. Te shatam deva gandharvanam anandha sa eka pitrinam chiraloka lokanam anandha, etc. So the Vedas describe 11 categories of happiness all the way up to Brahmalok. But they also say, these only appear to be different. It is the illusion of Maya. The tribal in a little village in Odisha thinks this guy who lives in the Rajdhani, capital of Odisha, Bhuvaneshwar, must be happy. The person in Bhuvaneshwar thinks those who live in Kolkata must be happy. And those in Kolkata think that the people in Silicon Valley must be happy. And a person like me who travels all across the spectrum realizes it's all the same. The fact is, the happiness you get from eating chappan vyanjan from a silver plate, a goat also gets by eating green grass, and a cow also gets from the brown grass. There is only a difference from the outside. The experience is the same. So now this yogi thought, oh, there is happiness in the world. Sri Krishna, like the indulgent father, says, okay, I'll give you an opportunity to enjoy 100-fold. And then when you understand what a waste of time it was, then you will come back. I'll then give you a conducive birth here. Or else, the second he says that if that yogi, unsuccessful yogi, had developed a reasonable measure of dispassion, no, the world can never give happiness. In that case, then I directly give them a birth next time, where there is complete facility to engage in sadhana. So he explains two kinds of births. The first, he says, is that they are either born in a very pious family, where from childhood itself the opportunity is there to receive this knowledge and practice sadhana. That is why some of the children of our satsangis, the little ones who are born in the satsang, they are blessed souls. Many of them are just continuing their journey from the past life. Or Sri Krishna says, sometimes I give them birth in a very wealthy family, where there is no struggle for survival. and the full time and opportunity is there for spiritual pursuit. That is why you see, the Buddha was born in so much of wealth, and his contemporary Mahavir, the Jain Tirthankar, was also born in so much of wealth. So Sri Krishna says that I will ensure that you will continue on the path in the future. Let us, we have completed up to 42. So we can, let's do one more. Tatra tam buddhi sanyogam
तत्र तं बुद्धिसंयोगं
labhate paurvadehikam
लभते पौर्वदेहिकं
yatate cha tato bhuyah
यतते च ततो भूयः
sansiddhau kurunandana.
सिद्धौ कुरु नन्दन.
Translation: on taking such a birth, O descendant of Kurus, they reawaken the wisdom of their previous lives and strive even harder towards perfection. So, God ensures the continuity. If all your efforts got erased upon death and you had to start from scratch again, that would be very unfair and discouraging. However, when God is saying that I ensure in your next life you get those earnings of the past life, the faith you had developed, the detachment you had achieved, the wisdom you had managed to cultivate and believe in. If God gives us all these in the next life, then we are able to move ahead from there. And that gives us the hope that even if I don't complete the journey, if I make progress, that progress will be protected by God. And this shows the differences. One person keeps trying and says, I don't get faith in God. There's one gentleman in Phoenix, all due respects to him, who's been attending my lectures for 12 years. And every year he comes sincerely and listens and asks the same questions. How do I know there is a soul? How do I know that there is a God? 12 years have gone by. The struggle is continuing. And for some people, these faiths get awakened so easily. What is creating this difference? Your sanskars coming from past lives. So the concept of past life is not discouraging, oh my God, my past karmas. Rather, it enables us to realize where I am today in my life. I alone am responsible for it. If I have got less bhakti than others, I am responsible. If I have got defects, I am responsible. One person went to an acharya and said, Guruji, why have I got so much of misery in my life? The acharya said, let me be frank, because you are a rascal and you've done bad karmas in the past. That was the harsh truth. So when we accept that we have got in life what we deserved, that then encourages us that let me take responsibility and move ahead. I've now the onus is not God will do it, Guruji will do it. I will need to do it myself. Verse number 44. Purvabhyasena tenaiva
Purvabhyasena tenaiva
hriyate hyavashopi saha
Kriyate yavashopi saha
jigyasurapi yogasya
Surapi yogasya
shabdam brahmati vartate.
Brahmati vardhate.
Translation: indeed, they feel drawn towards God even against their will, on the strength of their past discipline. Such seekers naturally rise above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. So, Sri Krishna is saying what happens then. Those who had done sadhana in their past lives but had not completed the journey, he gives them such a birth where they can continue from where they had left off. And they awaken those past earnings of theirs, the devotional bhav, the faith, and the consequence of it is they develop such a deep yearning for God that they find it impossible to resist. This is called the call of God. It is said that it is the strongest call in your life. When the call of God awakens in someone, the whole world says you are crazy. Bhavaro bhayo hai lok bhavari kahat moko bhavari kahe pe main kahu na baraji ho कहैया सुनैया तजो बाप और मैया तजो भैया तजो दैया पे कन्हैया नाही तजियो. The whole world says you have gone crazy. They say, you say whatever you like. I have to now attain God. So this is a consequence of their past earnings. That is why it is said there are 4 kinds of people in this world. Ihaivaikasya namutra amutraikasya no iha iha chamutra chaikasya namutraikasya no iha. The Sukti Sudhakar says, the first category, who have here but don't have there. The second, who don't have here but have there. The third, who have got both here and there. And the fourth, who have neither got here nor there. So here means in this world they have got material prosperity. I am a successful venture capitalist, serial entrepreneur. But there's no spiritual earning to take along. The earnings that will go along are not existing. So this is the first category of people who have here but not there. And the second category of people who don't have here but have there, they did not unnecessarily accumulate material possessions. They focused on their spiritual earnings which they are going to take along. And the third category of people, these are few, who have here as well and also there. Why are these kind of people few? Because if you have much material wealth, it leads to pride. And that pride becomes an impediment on the spiritual path. So, that is why this category of people are few, but there are always some kings, etc., who are also deeply spiritual. And the fourth, who don't have here and don't have there as well. They curse God. Why did God make me suffer? Why did God give me knee ache? Whatever be the case. They've got a string of complaints which prevents them from engaging in devotion. So the main thing is your spiritual earnings. Now look, the scriptures say that if you want spiritual earnings, what you should do? Yad yad ishtatamam loke yachate priyamatmanah tat tannivedayen mahyam sachanantyaya kalpate. Whatever is very dear to you, you sacrifice that to God. Not the torn dollar bill. You know, somebody said if you want to discover a khoti chavanni in India, you go to the temples and look in the arti plate. People say, I have got no need for it. Give it to my God, He'll figure out what to do with it. So whatever is dear to you, you offer. And Bhagavan says, Sachanantyaya, I will multiply it infinite times and give it to you. So what we get is what we have given. Now if one bank is giving you 5% and another bank at the same risk level is giving you 6%, you say this is a better bank. And God says, you give to me, I'll give you anant, infinite amount in return. Now the question is, do you have faith in God? If you do, you'll say, let me give and earn as much as I can. So that is a matter of spiritual intelligence. And these verses help us think long term instead of short term. Let's move ahead. Prayatnadyatmanastu
Prayatnadyatmanastu
yogi sanshuddha kilbishah
Yogi Sanshuddha Kilvishaha
aneka janma sansiddha
Aneka Janma Sansiddha
tato yati parangatim.
Tato Yapi Parangatim.
Translation: with the accumulated merits of many past births, when these yogis engage in sincere endeavors to make further progress, they become purified from material desires and attain perfection in this life itself. So Sri Krishna says, Aneka Janma Sansiddhi. They had the accumulated merits of many lifetimes. And then, whatever was the gap, with enthusiasm they engage in sadhana and cover the ground. And they reach the goal in this life. Now you say that this soul achieved the goal in this life. And others have been trying, they have not achieved. Because you cannot see the background. This soul had engaged in sadhana for aneka jan and has got those earning alongside. Now one person had $50,000 in the bank. Another person had $950,000 in the bank. So this person, he deposited 50, he also deposited 50. But he has got 100,000 bank balance and he has got 1 million bank balance. How unfair? They both deposited 50,000. How come there's such a 10 times difference? Because of the previous bank balance. Likewise, the diversities in this world are explained by the previous bank balance. Say some people are born with the proverbial golden spoon in the mouth. Others are struggling in deprived conditions and situations. Now, if there is no past life, then it is extremely unfair. Why does God do like this? If a person who is blind from birth asks, why am I blind from birth? What did I do to deserve this? In the Western culture, you cannot answer. Because if you say it is your deeds, I'm blind from birth, I did not do any bad deeds at that time. So the only possible, if you say that it's the will of God, why should the all-good God will somebody to be blind? The only logical explanation is, it is a consequence of past lives' deeds. That is how we keep moving from lifetime to lifetime, earning. And in this life, you have come close to the goal. You have got this situation where the graces, like favorable breezes, have created such an environment that you can now very quickly engage in sadhana and complete the journey. And if you miss out, then what is going to happen? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. Shankaracharya says, you die, you will be born. You die, you will be born, then again you die, and you will then hang upside down in a mother's womb. Punarapi janani jathare shayanam. We'll do Shirshasana out there. Right now, if your yoga teacher asks you to do Shirshasana for 5 minutes, you say, ab main mara. And that time we did it for months. So that is what we have been doing lifetime after lifetime. And we will keep doing it if we do not realize the value of the opportunity and utilize it. Finally, let's move to the end now. Tapasvibhyo dhiko yogi jnanibhyo pimato dhikaha karmibhyaschadhiko yogi tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. Translation: a yogi is superior to the tapasvi, ascetic, superior to the jnani, a person of learning, and even superior to the karmi, ritualistic performer. Therefore, O Arjun, strive to be a yogi. So, Sri Krishna, he exalts yoga. So what is yoga? Union with God. It says, on one side, you put the merits of 1,000 Ashwamedh Yagyas, plus the pious merits of doing varieties of karma kand, of residing in the Himalayas, etc. On the other side, you put the name of God. If you think all of these can equal the name of God, you are an atheist. So the ultimate purpose is to link with God, which is yoga. And that is what this verse is saying. Now people, they write commentaries on Gita, but they don't even bring God into the picture. Everybody's got their own buddhi. Last, yoginamapi sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yo man Same yuktatamo mataha.
Same yuktamato mataha.
Translation: of all yogis, those whose minds are always absorbed in me and who engage in devotion to me with great faith, them I consider to be the highest of all. So Sri Krishna said the position of the yogi is superior to the tapasvi, jnani, karmakandi, etc. Tapasvibhyodhiko yogi, etc. Now he says, Arjun, he's concluding this chapter, the highest amongst yogis is the bhakti yogi, who is attached the mind in loving devotion to me. Even in the world, love is so important. All the other creatures in the world, they are either killed by human beings for meat, or human beings extract work from them, like the oxen in the fields who have to put the plow on their shoulders and till the land. But the dog, it stays at home eating dog biscuits. If it falls sick, it visits dog doctors. In case the master has to go for a retreat, it puts the dog in a dog hotel. Again, Morari Bapu said, in my next life, I want to be a dog in the US. He was just taunting. Why are dogs pampered so much? Because of the love they are offering to their master. The dog becomes the best friend of human beings. Likewise, God says the same. If you love me, then naturally you are dearmost to me. If somebody tells you, now you will listen to this lecture, and our tendency, to dig 100 wells, so you can go and listen to the next Swamiji. So if somebody tells you that, this bhakti is in between, and ultimately it's only jnana or it's only kriya, etc., just point this verse out to them. That Sri Krishna is saying that the highest is the bhakti yogi who is absorbed in loving devotion to me. So why not accept these truths instead of just using our buddhi unnecessarily? Develop faith and move ahead. Shri Radha Krishna Bhagwan ki